Andrew Bartholomew with Xtero. This quick guide is part of Xtero's 5-part CLE accredited e-discovery master series. Today's topic is the master's quick guide to optimizing e-discovery in a multi-vendor environment. I'm joined by Jim Fitzgerald from Xtero, Jim Mittenthal from Epic Systems, and Josh Alpern from Informatica. And Josh, why don't you get us started?
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, everybody. This is Josh Alpern from Informatica. I'm going to be talking to you really briefly about the challenges posed by having multiple disparate systems in your IT environment that you need to deal with from a legal discovery and a legal hold point of view. Having a disparate range of technologies is really challenging for multiple reasons. Number one, it's a huge manual effort to take an existing legal hold and apply it to data in all of these disparate systems, typically because you need to approach them one by one. Number two, connectivity and communicating with all of these different systems and ensuring that the legal hold is properly applied to all of the relevant data and then, on the flip side, properly released from all of that data is also especially challenging. So overall, it's a very time-intensive, labor-intensive, manual, and error-prone process if you don't have some type of automated solution to deal with it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jim Fitzgerald, who's going to be talking to you about the importance of bidirectional information flow in a legal discovery process.
Thanks, Josh. Bidirectional information flows are ones that really knit together this whole environment and allow the different systems to both communicate back and forth to each other to exchange very key information about the status of discovery activities. So for an example there would be you have a service of process with a case. You start that up in your matter management system. You need to get discovery going on that. So you want to be able to initiate a project, if you will, to preserve and collect data and get that going. But on the other side of that, you also want to make sure that you're keeping informed. If you spend all your day in your matter management tool, you want to know what's happening with that case, how many custodians are involved, how much data has been collected, is it out for review yet? So that's part of what people try to accomplish with a matter management. The whole integration that's two-way. Same thing with the legal hold when they're going beyond the notice. People want to make sure that their archives in Informatica and Exchange and Office 365 and SharePoint and other data sources are being properly communicated, and that's done automatically and promptly. So being able to have a two-way integration that both sets those in place and then releases them when litigation clears. Same thing with project management, making sure the collections are handed off properly and people know which custodians to collect from and what data sources. And lastly, when it comes to the review process, the most expensive part of that, people want to retain some visibility and some control over where are we on budget and time with that, and making sure whether that's in-house or out-of-house that process is well communicated across the system. So with the next, I'd like Jim Mittenthal just to speak to what is this fully integrated world that people strive for.
Yes, and then in the future world where we have an integration between the various data sources, movement of people, the data map, and the project management and workflow aspects, we have consistency, which leads to dispensability. And that consistency runs from the identification, preservation, hold, through the collection, processing, review, and production stages. Also, a side benefit of that would be the aspect of non-linear review, which is the way that we have true communication between the upstream identification effort and the downstream processing effort, which leads to greater efficiencies. It leads to greater cost savings and less surprise. It leads to a more informed review and also a more proactive and strategic approach to our discovery data. That is a way of moving away from the bucket brigade mentality and in terms of moving that information and the knowledge about the discovery populations farther upstream in a way that shares information amongst the team members. Otherwise, we have error-prone handoffs, we have games of operator, we have time lags. But this way, we have inputs for each stage of discovery, outputs, and activities that occur during each stage visible to all the appropriate team members. It avoids data duplication or loss, for instance, custodians being collected redundantly. It shows transparency, consistency, efficient processes, and eliminates surprise, risk of spoliation, or other malfeasance. It moves the effort back to that offensive strategy. The integrated system ultimately can help address some of the biggest coordinations in e-discovery, which include the movement of former employee materials, the location of unmanaged custodial data across a distributed international organization, and the management of active and legacy business systems in terms of their contribution to the overall discovery effort. And I'm going to turn it over to Andrew to close us out.
Thanks, Jim. That's Jim Mittenthal from Epic Systems. You also heard from Jim Fitzgerald from Extero and Josh Alpern from Informatica. To learn more about this topic, please visit our website, extero.com. That concludes our quick guide. Thanks for joining us.